Have you ever wondered if you could actually engineer an emotion? I mean, not just feel it, but build it piece by piece so someone else can experience it. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. Think of this as a kind of director's commentary on a creative blueprint, one that's designed to take a viewer from feeling lost to feeling this profound sense of calm. And it does it all in under a minute. Okay, let's dive in. This right here, this is the core idea. It's the North Star for every single creative choice we're about to unpack. It's not just about showing pretty pictures of a sunrise, right? It's about making the outside world a perfect mirror for an inner journey. This one sentence is the foundation for everything that follows. So what we're actually looking at isn't a finished video. It's the recipe. It's a plan called Morning Renewal, and it's this meticulously crafted guide for an emotional experience. And its purpose is incredibly specific. The goal here is a deliberate, guided emotional shift. It's about taking someone who feels overwhelmed by the noise of the world and leading them, step by step, to a place of inner peace and focus. The key here is that it's a controlled journey.
Now, when you see a list of specs like this, it's easy to just see them as tech buzzwords, but they're not. Every single one is a key ingredient for building this dreamlike atmosphere. The 8K and photorealism, that's all about making you feel like you're really there. That soft golden hour light, it just feels warm and hopeful, you know? And using slow motion with these tiny macro details, it forces our own minds to slow down and just notice the little things for a second.
Every good story needs a beginning, and this one starts with a problem. The first few seconds are all about establishing that feeling of unease, of being a little bit lost. It sets the stage for the journey we're about to go on. We open on this massive, quiet scene. But notice, stillness isn't necessarily peaceful here. The mist kind of hides the view, creating this sense of isolation. Yeah, it's beautiful, but it's also a little lonely, a little uncertain. It's basically a visual for a mind that's clouded by fog.
And this is where it gets really clever. This is the first creative tension. We're looking at a world that is visually silent, totally still. But the voiceover is telling us we're in the noise of the world. That immediate clash between what we see and what we hear, it creates the exact psychological state this video wants to solve. That feeling of being overwhelmed, even when things are quiet around you. And then, boom, a huge shift. The plan calls for us to go from this massive, wide landscape to the tiniest possible detail. A single drop of water. This isn't random at all. It's a very deliberate choice to pull our focus inward, away from the big, overwhelming world to a single, simple point of clarity. And this pairing is so effective because we're looking at this perfect, clear, simple dewdrop, a moment of absolute purity. But the narration hits you with, it is easy to lose your way. This just hammers home the core theme. You can be surrounded by simple beauty and still feel completely and utterly lost. The problem isn't out there, it's internal. Okay, so we've set up the problem. Now the story has to pivot, right? Let's look at how this plan starts to build toward the solution and how the mood makes that intentional shift away from tension and towards hope. And here it is, the first glimmer of change. The sunlight literally breaks through the fog. Now, this is a classic visual metaphor, but it works for a reason. It represents hope, a new idea, a shift in perspective that's cutting through all that confusion. It's the external event that kicks off our internal change. You know, there's actually a technical term for this effect, God rays, and cinematographers use this specific lighting trick all the time to get a powerful emotional response from us. It's a tool that's designed to make you feel a sense of awe, like a moment of grace is breaking through. It's a really important tool in our whole emotional engineering toolkit. So, this turning point isn't just one single moment. It's really a three-part sequence, a little 1, 2, 3 punch. First, the environment changes. The sunlight appears. Then, and this is crucial, we see a person for the very first time, which grounds the whole story and gives us someone to connect with. And finally, that person does something simple. They take a deep breath. And that's it. That's the moment the external change becomes an internal one. So with that turning point locked in, we can move to the climax of our 60-second journey, the resolution. This is the payoff. This is where the initial problem gets solved and that feeling of calm we've been working towards is finally achieved. And here we go, full circle. We're back to a wide shot of the landscape, just like in the beginning. But what's different? Well, everything.
The mist has cleared, the sun is up, the same vastness that once felt so isolating now feels expansive, beautiful, and peaceful. We are looking at the same world, but with a new, clearer perspective. That's the resolution. And just remember, this entire emotional arc, from being lost in the fog to finding clarity and peace, the whole thing is designed to happen in just 1 minute. 60 seconds. That is an incredibly efficient piece of emotional storytelling, where every single second is engineered to serve the story. So let's pull it all together. How did this blueprint actually construct the feeling of calm? It wasn't just one thing. It was the careful layering of these distinct creative pillars, all working together in perfect harmony. This slide really lays out the entire strategy. Let's just walk through it. First, the visuals. The plan moves from a wide shot to a macro detail and back to a wide shot. That journey guides our focus from the big, overwhelming world to our own internal state, and then back out with a new perspective. Then you have the audio, which mirrors that journey, going from ambient noise to something intimate before swelling with hopeful music. And all of this is built on a classic narrative structure: problem, action, and finally resolution. Each pillar works together to build the final feeling. And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. This isn't just a plan for a single video. It's a model for thinking. By consciously choosing your visuals, your sound, and your story structure, you can become an architect of emotion. So the question isn't just what was built here, but what could you build next? Excitement? Nostalgia? Curiosity? The blueprint is yours to design.